Diaz Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Orale. Like a motherfucking smack addict. And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, war, homie. Sabes que Ukraine and Russia, orale, war. We're talking about war that has happened in the streets of California for decades now. See, a lot of people know about North and South. And hey man, it's a blessing. And in menudo not a direct fashion, it's a fucking blessing. The end of hostilities, man. I love that the raza is coming together. If not uniting, if for no other reason, just being able to talk, speak, keep it civil, man, keep it social. I love it, bro. It's something that I've always aspired, something I've always wished for, and it's actually came to fruition. It's a real life. It's really happening. Dispensa, and I'm all for it. Now, at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, war, homie. There's always been war between North and South that has been fought over decades up north in Northern California. Now, we all know in Southern California, they got their own internal conflictions, their own hood turfs and warfare, what they got going on. And South, hey, respects to all them vatos that are holding it down for their barrios. You know, at the end of the day, man, these vatos got barrios that have been established since fucking the Geico caveman was chilling. Old school shit, and you got to respect their get down. But now up north is a little bit different. You have recent establishments. You have hoods and barrios that have been established in the 80s and 90s. And to everyone, that's recent, okay? Compared to these barrios that were established already in the 1800s, what the right? 1920s and 30s. I'm talking about white fence evergreens, things of that nature, down in Islos and shit. Now look, you come up north to the Central Valley, the 209, my area, Merced, bang, bang, you already know what it is. And we've always had adversaries, okay? We've always had adversaries within our own red on red back in the days. Of course, that died out in the late 90s when the GUN CD dropped. But at the same time, there's always been animosity. So we're better than you. No, we're better than you. So the wind's blowing over here better. What the it's nice. The sun is shining over here. Over there, stuff, clouds and rain and shit. And that's just how it is. There's always some type of confliction. There's always some type of hate. You know, the word hate is very strong and powerful. It ain't worth shit, but at the same time, a lot of people do it. So trip out. What you have going on is two cities that I wanted to profile basically and talk about these two cities, right? We're talking about the city of A-Town, Atwater, California, a population of 40 to 50,000, not very many people, but at the same time, they wiggle while they work. Right? They get their issue on. Atwater is down, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of the history on A-Town. And then, of course, you had Livas, Livingston, a very small farming community town. Bang, bang is all I can say about Livas. A whole different type of animal, a different type of town with the business. Do you know how to spell business? Sasuke, it should spell Livingston because that's what they are about that. There's a war that's been fought for many years. Bodies have dropped. Gente are gone. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldados on both sides. But these two towns, Atwater and Winton, Sabes que they're connected by one country road, Walnut Road. And anyone that hits that road, here's two things you're going to see. You're going to see almond trees and smell sawoya. It's no joke, right? Once you get to one end, either the top or the bottom end, the funk is on. And believe me, they're all for that action. They're all about that smoke. People are going back and forth. They're letting it be known. That road right there is very dangerous because if your car's the wrong color and you're wearing the wrong paño, you will be ending up in a canal. Bang, bang, straight up on both sides. But Atwater. The city of Atwater was established by the Sureños. Yes, there are Norteños in the city of Atwater nowadays, but back in the days, in my era, the 90s, there was none. Okay, that's just righteously real. One of my primos, and I'm not going to put his name out there, but one of my primos was actually one of the founders of A-Town Sur. And I remember being at my abuelita's house back in the days. I was a little kid. I was just waiting for frijoles con chorizo. I was just chilling like this with a red paño on my head. I thought I was bad. And we're talking about 8 or 9 years old before I was even old enough to know how to spell the word paño. Chilling, and my primo used to be at the pad with hell of his homeboys, okay, from Atwater. We lived at this time in Atwater. I didn't live, my grandmother did. My primo was raised by her, so I'd be over there chilling, right? They know the time. And his homeboys would be there, and I remember they would always be talking about insane sureños, this, and that. And I wasn't up to par on knowing what that was. I just knew automatically the way I was laced up that the sureños were the adversaries. But of course, this is my primo and his homeboys that I grew up with since I was a kid. So I wasn't tripping and they weren't tripping on me. So I was scared. We were all in it for a tortilla. You feel me? Con queso. So we're chilling. And all of a sudden they start to establish. I start to see them wear blue sweaters. It says A-Town, Atwater, Sud, right? And so they started to establish that. And on my other channel profiles, we will be profiling mañana. The founder, the actual founder of the A-Town Sureños, man, tap in over there on my new channel. Gracias, bang, bang. We're going to get into some profiles. But anyway, so they established it and they're down. You know, they started to have vatos move in from LA, Orange County, the San Diego area, the Inland Empire. Stand up, respects to IE. You already know what it is, man. Shout out to the vatos out there in Coton, rocking it hard. But yeah, they started to establish in Atwater, and people in Merced knew. You know what I mean? Let's get boom. We started to take notice. We started to hear and see what was going on, and we knew we had to tread lightly. We had to move smooth with the purpose, because these vatos in the A-Town had a different type of mentality. They were all about, they ain't fucking with no custers, right? This is how they were. On 55th, they were down. And, you know, like I said, my primo was part of them. A lot of my homeboys' primos were part of these guys. So it wasn't like there was some Johnny-come-latelys vatos that just got off the banana boat. Push it to the limit, Charlie, homies. These vatos were really ready to push it to the limit, the next limit. So Atwater was not to be slept on. At the end of the day, we used to go into Atwater, being from Merced, and so there's some things I can't speak on because it went down, and at the end of the day, beep, 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 beep. Shit happens, right? But let's just say A-Town was a very worthy adversary at that time in the 90s and even on until today. Okay, I had a homeboy that actually was in Atwater, and the story goes, man, my homeboy's fucking old lady was pregnant, and she sent my carnal, man, my brother, man, my homeboy, a good friend of mine, you know, to Foster Freeze, which is a little local spot. You know, they got the bomb-ass burgers, like a little burger from Foster Freeze. You know you're in trouble. Bomb-ass fries and shit. Anyways, I'm hungry. Vato goes to Foster Freeze to get some fucking ice cream for his old lady because she's pregnant late night. And, you know, allegedly, you know, vatos rolled up, and the initiation was they blow my homeboy's head off, being that he was a norteño and they were sureños. Okay, I can't call it like an alcoholic. At the end of the day, man, it was what it was. Eventually, I heard they incarcerated someone for it, and he caught the life term. But irregardless of that, that's what happened to a good friend of mine. So I said you had to move lightly and move smoothly when you were in the city of Atwater, period. So now you got Livas. Orale. Livingston. I've lived in Livingston. I have breathed Livingston. And I can tell you, man, from a kid to an adult, that one town in the central Valle, in the heart of the Valle, is not the one to play with. You don't fuck with Livas. Okay, this is the only town that I personally have ever been in where there's one gang, one barrio. There ain't no norteños and sureños and crips and bloods and whites on my. There's none of that. There's one barrio, respectfully, Livas Barrio Norte. That's it. Okay, they've established and held it down to. No one else can establish there. There ain't gonna be no Asians. There ain't gonna be no Usos. There ain't gonna be no Martians. There ain't gonna be no vatos from the planet Neptune. There ain't gonna be none of that. Livas Norte, Barrio Livas Norte is established and breathing hard with the purpose. They are right there in the city of Livingston doing their thing, and that's the way it's been for decades, okay? They don't allow anybody, not me, not you, and she make nobody to establish in their spot. They hold it down. This place is like a mini Pelican Bay. You go into Livingston, you better be ready because they're checking paperwork at the local motherfucking 7-Eleven and the local fucking Super K market they got there. They're not playing. Believe, when I was living there, I had to wiggle smooth. Because at that time I was non-active and I was ready to get active if I had to. But you know, my head was on swivelization. Put it like that. Not because I was scared or anything, because I knew that in order to do better, I knew better, right? I had to do what I had to do because these motherfuckers over here were not playing. Livingston does not play. So what you have is you have a lot of youngsters and a lot of hardcore gang members that got the mentality that they're already going to prison. So I was scared they're dedicated to the North. They're dedicated to their cause. They're willing to die and sacrifice and make the sacrifices that are necessary to continue that struggle, right? For equality, social status of equality. They're down. And it's nothing but respect. I will not disrespect Livas because there's some real soldados out of Livas. I met some righteous ones. I know some righteous ones. I got familia that are involved. They are Livas, but so I'm going to keep it on the low because I don't want them, you know, to end up in a camote orchard. So let me tell you something. So the war between Atwater and Livingston heated up. Now you would think Merced being the bigger city out of the two, we would be the ones tripping on A-Town. But Sabes, like I said, from the early 90s, we had a lot of familia from Atwater, being that we're 5 minutes away. So we basically shied away from Atwater. Let them vatos do. That's Gilligan's Island, homie. Let them go over there. And the skipper to the millionaire con his wife. Let them do their thing over there. We're not tripping. We're over here trying to get feria, make money. We have our own agenda. And there's a couple Sureño barrios trying to establish over here that we need to handle and deal with before we can go clean up someone else's backyard. Homie, we got fucking caca in our front yard, right? So you know how it is, man. You got to clean up your shit before you can go clean someone else's shit up. That's just how it was. But these vatos in Atwater, being hardcore Sureños and really down for their upstate Sureñoism, were down to go to Livas to handle their business and vice versa, tit for tat. And oh, believe the war was on. Orale, Desert Storms. That's why I wore camo today, because that's how real that shit got, right? They started to go back and forth, and there was several murders, several bodies, several hardcore, straight up killings that happened between these two groups. Allegedly, right? So they happened, and at the same time, we would hear about it in Merced. And of course, we were very close to the vatos from Livingston, so a lot of the homeboys would go to Livas, chop it up with the vatos. And like I said, my primo being from A-Town and having homeboys from A-Town, personal friends, they would tell me about it, and they'd be like, hey, bro, we go hunting. We got little squads that go hunting back and forth. Vatos are taking people off the map. Vatos are coming at me. You see the milk cartons lately? They get double up, right? A lot of shit was going down between this war. And it's a war that not a lot of people talk about. See, when you think north and south up north, you think San Ho. Of course, you have a lot of, maybe not nowadays, everybody's on their D-boy shit. Everyone's trying to get feria, as they should, you know. But back in the days, you know, in San Ho, it was a war zone. I myself told the story how I went up there one fateful Cinco de Mayo, and it cracked off, straight melee shit, and I ended up in Santa Clara County. Ordered a free gun, right along with free cane, right? Santa Clara County was no joke. I did one day, they released me on my own recognizance. I did the little court thing, paid a fine, and did it pushing, right? I got lucky. So I get no witnesses. But the war was on in cities like San Jose. Of course, Salas, you had a couple Sureño hoods that established, and of course the Norteños being the predominant group, headquarters, they went at it. And a lot of different internal confliction in a lot of different cities. But this was a war of two cities, one being mostly purely Sureño up north, and the other being purely Norteño, period, right? That's not even a question. So you can't even debate that one. And going back and forth, separated by one road. Now ask yourself this. What's the difference? Okay, Livingston, there's not a lot of jobs out there. Most of the familia are their second generation from Mexico, Mexicanos. A lot of the youngsters that established, their familia work out in the fields doing camotes, tomates, cebolla. You know, field workers. This is what they do. Not to knock the homeboys saying that they're paisitas, or they're not this, or they're not that. No, they're Norteños. Homes, they're an established hood, very well known and very down, man. They got some good heavy hitters, man, in the Pinta. Vatos that are well known and respected. And then in Atwater, what you have is a lot of second generation vatos from Los that have come down and established, and a lot of Chicanos that are actually northern raised, man, but somehow got ingrained with these few vatos that established from Long Beach out here in A-Town, right? And of course, now there's different groups, A-Town Dukes, A-Town Sureños, or whatever the case may be, man. That's their business. But in Livas, like I said, it's one predominant gang. It's always going to be that way. They're established. But these guys are all the same. Okay? Yes, there's different philosophies. Yes, there's different causes. Yes, there's different mentalities. Yes, there's different, I guess, social status of equality. If you look at it, you know, from one way or the other, people think that they're better than the other ones. But at the end of the day, they're all this, bro. They're all brown. And it's one fucking Walnut Street that separates them. And these vatos go at it. There's been vatos smacked at the taco truck. They didn't even get their torta. You know what I mean? You're supposed to eat a torta and get a torta. They didn't even get none of that. You know what I mean? They were losing. And that's just the way it is. You know, that's just the way it is. The war has been brewing for many years. And it's not like these vatos have to go into each other's cities and even cause static. You stay over there, we'll stay over here. So it's going to be just fine. Beep, beep, boop. Charlie, man, these vatos actually go to the other city just to cause static, just to let it be known, just to gangbang. Now, I know in the 90s, that was very prevalent. Motherfuckers was getting their wig on, so, colors. All right, I am an, all right, iced tea. People were getting their colors on and they were tripping. Color banging and Sud, North and all that. Crips and Bloods, all mine. But for recently, you know, you would think most people are on their D-boy shit, most people are on their rock and unity, most people are about their brown power. Charlie, bro, they're still going at it. These vatos still have some hate and animosity. And you gotta understand, and I understand, several bodies have dropped on either side. So when you have casualties of war, you have homeboys that have died, man, breathing that fire and that flame, man, and toiling in that soil for which they toiled, man, standing 10 toes down in that concrete like a rose, you know? You need to understand that there's gonna be always that hatred and that blood animosity there. That's understandable. But at the same time, what's always boggled my mind and tripped me out was you're all brown. You're fucking the same. So the only difference is your shirt's blue and your shirt's fucking red. Sasuke, I don't know, but my shirt's black and it says brown power. You know what I mean? Brown and proud. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, it's none of my business concerning why they do what they do and how they do it. Or if they even, allegedly, if they even done it. Fact remains that there is a fucking war that's being fought in the California streets and has been fought for several decades. Not years, not days, not minutes, definitely not seconds. Decades. Okay, a lot of people have died behind this. A lot of people have been incarcerated. A lot of people have lost loved ones to incarceration or to the dirt, you know? Either way, man, it's a war that's been fought that not a lot of people know about or talk about. And it's something I wanted to bring to your plate to tell you, what is the difference? That's the question. One street separates them. Now, I know we have machismo, we have pura. When I call it pura, we have pure spirit, man. We have pure warriorism in us. Aztecas, Mayans, oh my, Incas, you feel me? We're about our business, but it just seems frivolous to me. Now, I'm down for that cause. I love that cause, that northern cause, man. I'm a true believer in what they got going. I'm no longer actively pursuing that. I'm no longer actively participating in the reindeer games, but at the same time, man, I will always love that brown northern cause. And I love the Sureño get down as well, man. I got respect and love for them Vatos, the way they carry themselves. All the gente in the Sur that are rocking in a righteous fashion. I just got a lot of admiration and love for all sides. The perros, it's a given. You already know, freno, right? So I got a lot of love. So I sit back to myself and I think, you know, I like to contemplate these things and I think it, and it dawned on me, damn, Livas and Atwater, they've been going at it for a long time, you know, and to even express how dangerous these cities are, people would think I'm putting Tapatio on it. They're going again, the J-Caddy's firing it up. Charlie, man, anyone that knows. You got to respect A-Town. You got to respect the way they planted that fucking flag that says, Sureño, Sureño, Sureño. You got to understand that. They've done it. It's a fact, man. You know, I know there's a lot of Northerners that would like to debate that topic and be like, Charlie Holmes, Vatos ain't established, but come on, bro. I've been around the block in the 6'4", riding on Dayton's, not flats, for a long time, and I can tell you they've been there and they've done that, bro. Personally, I know. I've seen it. Hey, so I got scars on my face where I've been stabbed by Vatos in A-Town. They drugged me for a minute there. I know, right? As far as Livingston goes, I've rocked right there in Livas too, active and inactively, and I can tell you right now, Sasuke, you better have your paperwork on you or you're not going home. These Vatos are not playing. Don't have no smut on your name, homie. It's like hitting Pelican Bay. Sasuke, you see little homies on the corner doing máquina. That's how really, Sasuke, down, orale, right there, over there in Livingston, you hear fucking cows mooing. You hear fucking what do you call the cock is crowing, right? And you hear fucking homeboys, buenos dias, from sunrise to rose. These Vatos are putting it out there to primrose. That's how Livingston is. It's a very functioning city, and they've always been that way. And they have hatred for the Sud, and the Sud likewise for them, you know. And it's just because of the war that's been fought even before a lot of these youngsters were even established or even knew how to spell the Norte or the Sud. Sasuke, let me tell you how to spell it. Sasuke, you'll figure it out. Anyways, I do know how to spell brown proud though. But with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know that always be careful where you go. You never know what's going on around you. Keep your awareness up, man. There's wars that are being fought in these California streets. And I hope that in time, everything just gets better. I hope in time, everybody decides to, you know, put stuff to the side. I know we've lost loved ones. I know we've lost homeboys for which, man, we can never get back. But at the same time, you need to understand, man, it wasn't a total loss, man. They fought and they struggled for what they believed in, man. And righteously in their hearts, they died a true soldado. Whether it was their time to go at that particular time or not, man, they died on their 10. They died on their toes, man, being what they were going to be. They would rather die standing than live on their knees. And they did that as a brown man should and would, right? So I respect both and rest in peace to both sides. You know, like I said, I have no horse in the race. I'm not tripping off north and south, man. You know what I mean? I'm tripping off green. Bang, bang. You know, you already know what it is. Anyways, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's about going out there and pushing for your familia, pushing for your gente, pushing for your people, uniting this gente so that way we can have a civil conversation, kick back, be cordial, and do our thing in that fashion. It makes no sense on killing young brethren and young homeboys that are coming up in the game, whether they be wearing blue or red. None of that matters. At the end of the day, man, just get, we're not going to attack my restaurant, but you better be staying on your toes in a righteous fashion, because just like it was in Nellis, you might be side by side with your adversary fighting that good fight, man, because you never know when it goes down, because I've seen it. I've seen a lot of twists and turns, man, and they let that pistol burn, and that's real talk. Anyways, man, if you like this spiel, hit that like and subscribe. Remember, I also got my sister channel going on, which is part of the Gunners brand, Gunners Profiles. Please tap in, go check it out. We're booming and banging profiles of several individuals, street gang members, serial killers, things of that nature. We're going to do what we do, you know? It's just how we push. Anyways, hit that like and subscribe if you like this. If you don't, you can hit that thumbs down, heavy as the head that wears the crown. We intend to push the best content we possibly can right here on Gunners Collective. Bang, bang, the shit don't stop. And in the words of that fucking gunner, that J-Cat, menudo. In that fashion.